So you want me to go into a totally unknown situation with no backup whatsoever, with some Russian gangster in Cuba?
You're the only person that can do this job. If you don't do it, it doesn't get done, and I need this done.
My very simple idea with Jet was, why couldn't you have this character who is a natural-born thief? She is a criminal, she is excellent at what she does, and that's all she's ever wanted to do. And my idea was, what if Carla Gugino played that character?
Where you find us, the beginning of this season, she's just gotten out of prison. She's trying to figure out how to live a straight life.
She ultimately takes this job with Charlie knowing that it gives her the opportunity to spring her ex-partner and lover, Quinn, out of prison.
If she'd ever consider anyone the love of her life, and I don't know that she would, but if she did, it would probably be Quinn.
The job that she has to do, which is to go into Cuba with very little backup to steal this precious ring out of a safe, happens to be in a place where she can't do a lot of recon, and this puts her at a disadvantage. Yeah, the end of the first episode, Jet is in completely unfamiliar terrain. Something has gone wrong in the heist, and that's not unfamiliar, and it's simply the ability to improvise or fix these problems that really makes the master criminal the master criminal.
Don't you put your hands on her!
For the first time in her life, she has this outside presence who is now going to be the puppet master and call the shots for her.
Because you named your daughter Alice.
The fact that he knows all about Alice and he murdered Quinn in front of her is her worst nightmare. Two very worthy adversaries are created at the end of episode 1.
Who do you work for? And the right answer, Jet. You work for me.
How'd it go? Great. Why wouldn't it? Great, why wouldn't it?
So each episode is named after a character, and episode 2 belongs to Junior.
Jet,
Junior?
welcome back. Everything go all right?
Why wouldn't it?
Junior is Charlie Baudelaire's son. As such, he has grown entitled and impulsive and unpredictable.
I don't follow.
Something happens to me, a new judge is assigned to your dad's case, and he nails him?
What just happened? Did something spook you?
Well, I think Jet functions very much on instinct, and she's never had a great impression of Junior. I think she's always known he's a wild card, and he's unraveling. In episode 2, really, Jet is just trying to get as much information as she can. Which Baudelaire are you after?
One comes with the other, but it's Junior we're concentrating on.
It is because of that she does something very out of character. She forms an alliance.
Charlie's going to war with Jacinto Salas. Who is he? While letting him think she's giving him information, she can also have a way to get information about Junior. I ever see, or even imagine I see a car keeping tabs on me, deal's over.
Jet, like most smart women that I know, is a very practical person. If she prepares and rehearses things and picks the right people, she can get the job done.
But I'm not interested in your rules. I'm interested in your leadership. We need you to come up with a plan.
She's never been in a position where she's working for someone else. So I think straight off the bat, this is very unfamiliar terrain. We're gonna do this without firing any bullets. It's not that she's a control freak. It's really that the outcome is so much better if she can control more of the steps towards the outcome. There's something very fishy about this job, but I think when she finds out the gold bricks are there, it opens a can of worms in which she did not have information about, which is the part that drives her crazy.
Sorry, Jet.
I'm coming over. Make sure you're alone.
In episode 3, Jet goes to the house of this ex-junkie that she met in prison named Phoenix, played by Heitha Jensen, because she happens to know that Phoenix has medical training.
When someone gets shot, taking the bullet out is the least important thing. What's important is to clean the wound and repair the damage.
You know, Jet just sort of catalogs information for future reference. And this is one where she's like, aha, this is the person that I think I can go to.
Phoenix, in a way, is the proverbial hooker with a heart of gold.
Get out of my face.
Oh my, you suck ass at gratitude.
Jet has a really good feeling about her, but she doesn't know how reliable she can be.
Very, very few people does she let in, but once you're in for life.
Maria's somebody who Jet meets at the most climactic moment of their lives.
I can't have you worrying. That would be a waste of energy.
I'm not worried about you if you're not worried about me. Basically, she has her back, and she knows that Maria has hers, and that Maria is there for Alice unconditionally. And that is of huge value to Jet.
What happened?
I got shot.
You got shot?
I got a shot at the doctor's. It's funny for somebody who's so advanced in many ways. She is much more like a young Clint Eastwood, a very lone warrior trying to figure out this creature, this small child, and getting pointers from Maria. I love that part of the show because it really is Jet off kilter, not in her strong place, but trying to figure it out.
This is Jordan Kennedy from Stony Point Elementary.
Alice had a little accident today.
She got a nosebleed.
You know how girls get.
So squeamish.
Okay.
So in episode 4, in order to prove that she was not part of the theft or the disappearance of these gold bricks, Jet now has to track down the bricks and therefore track down her old, not exactly nemesis, but more nemesis than not, Frank Sweeney.
Where's Frank?
Can't you call me an ambulance?
No. Frank Sweeney is someone who put a gun to Jet's head years ago and was ready to pull that trigger. And because she was able to outsmart him in that situation, she didn't die.
This job I want you for, there's no room for error.
Not delicate.
Frank Sweeney was one of Jet's first ever bosses.
You need a new name.
Gentlemen, meet Jet.
She knows that this man is very dangerous.
What did you find in there?
Dead guy. You remember Frank? Doesn't take much to set him off. But he has gotten his hands on these bricks, and she has to go get them back.
We see Jet's skills for problem solving accomplish these tasks.
Jet sort of quickly realizes where these gold bricks are.
I always liked you, Jet. Was it you who shot me?
No.
In that case, would you finish what you didn't start?
She's not somebody who kills people haphazardly. That really is a very last resort. But in this particular case, it is her gesture of helping him with the fate that he wants. And I think it is a bit of an honor code. And I really think that that moment is very key to who she is.
Reggie, you okay?
Episode 5 starts a little bit with a timeout.
Charlie and Jet are having their next date that he wondered if she would actually want to have.
We get a really good sense as to how much she and Charlie like each other as people.
If Jet gets nervous at all, she's a little nervous here.
These coincidences that are piling up, it's not going to take very long for Charlie to start putting together that Jet might be involved.
You gonna tell me how you really got hurt?
She makes up this story about waking up and sleepwalking. If I did, you'd never believe it. You know, she knows that he knows her pretty well. I think if anyone could see a tell, it would be him.
Try me.
We realize that part of this is true. Like, she is actually revealing things about herself that she normally wouldn't. And so this is mixing truth and fiction.
Different characters here are technically betraying the other character. So Jet is collecting information that will hurt Charlie.
What are you gonna do about Solace?
Yeah, he's got a book full of heroin docking here next week.
This is a world where life really is cheap, and the only person he can say that to is Jet. And of course, Jet is one person who's actually working with the cops to bring him down.
It's a mess of a setup. There's only one exit route. What would you do?
And also, she does have a soft spot for him. There's no doubt about it. Given a choice, I never go in somewhere with only one exit route.
This parallel story that we've been seeing with Rosalie and Benny, who shot her lover, has felt guilty the whole time.
That's what happens when you lose control. Happens sometimes, you just have to learn from it. There's no shame in fate, Rosalie. We're in a perfect world, not at the scene of a crime.
and that story is gonna take other turns.
What did we say about self-control?
In episode 6, the heist of this precious car in Portsmouth is important because Jett calls a former partner called McKay, who is going to play a big part in the rest of the season because she needs a team to try and steal this car. The job itself is not very complicated. We see Jett in her element. It's almost like taking candy from a baby.
Anything to report?
These people have no taste. She walks into a house that she knows no connection to, and she sees a picture of Charlie Baudelaire. And that is a big moment of realization for Jett, because these jobs aren't random, and they are all tied together by one thing, which is Charlie.
One of the banes of Jett's existence is things getting out of control, not because somebody smarter than you has outwitted you, but because stupid people are doing stupid things.
Can you see the front gate from there?
Tell me it isn't who I think it is.
Vicky is a small-town femme fatale trying to figure out her way out of this town.
Join us. She ends up having an affair with the doctor that she's working with, but also has a boyfriend who messes things up even worse.
I have been missing you all day.
Stop.
What's his job?
Just be sure they don't see you.
All the men around her are not super bright. She's much brighter than all of them. And Jett realizes that the way she can control the situation is through Vicky.
She doesn't know
So
anything.
whatever he promises you or tells you is fine with us, as long as you keep him away from that place for the next few days. Think you can manage that?
Of course.
Now everybody's on the same page.
You can be so good at what you do, but if something that doesn't make any sense surprises you, it might take you down. And for a moment, Henry's ineptitude throws her off her game, and it puts Jett in a lot of danger.
Put it down. No fast moves.
As fate would have it, in the same way that she went to prison probably for one of her lesser crimes, she is knocked out by one of her lesser foes.
Turn around.
We're not sure what happens, and we don't end up seeing her for quite some time.
You in some kind of trouble here, Henry?
Jett doesn't see herself as a killer. In a different circumstance, would have much rather left anybody alive. But in this case, she has to get out, and it's just what she has to do. Her survival skills are much more primal.
What are you doing?
Jett is not a sociopath, but when she comes across people that have wronged her in a way that the best solution is to kill them, she will. In the case of Henry, he is a problem that will not go away. So she, very clearly in episode 7, makes a distinction between Henry and Vicky.
Stay still.
Vicky, she forgives and lets go.
Very often, we, as actresses, are asked to bring the humanity, to bring the heart.
Tell me what you want. I can help.
You have nothing to trade, Vicky. It was much more about showing less, and it was really fascinating because I don't think I've ever been asked to do that. Can you leave your life right now and never come back?
Fuck. Yes.
Who's this? Never seen him before. Is he showing them a badge?
I think episode 8 is where it's revealed that Charlie really is not in control.
Dad.
We have seen that Junior has pretty much hijacked our story. He is completely unpredictable.
I'm regrouping, is what? I mean, you always say, come to you first, come to you, so I'm here.
By turning a blind eye to his son, he has lost basically everything he had.
But this is not what a professional does. This feels personal.
You know, there are so many stories that are about the sins of the fathers become the sins of the sons. And in a strange way, this is the opposite. You can't be a cold-blooded, ruthless killer if there is somebody that you're really worried about. And that is both Jett and Charlie's problem. Things are gonna come to a head where we're gonna have in the same room, Charlie, Junior, Jett, and Dylan is gonna walk in.
He's a cop. Why haven't you strayed a long fucking way from your reservation, Detective Dylan?
Jett knows that she should stay out of this, but she can't sit there and watch.
Junior. You know, she doesn't make a lot of bad decisions, and this one is one of those. Junior.
My name is Charles.
I mean, the moment Jett kills Junior, there's no way Charlie will ever be able to forgive her. So at that moment, she knows that that relationship is never going to be what it was. Charlie. I'm sorry. Ultimately, her killing Junior to protect Dylan is just a bad idea. We gotta go. So this is the unspooling of the thread for sure.
You're taking a lot of chances walking in there.
I don't have a lot of options. There's something about you that makes me want to kick your fucking face. Emilion wants to meet, so as she is actually constructing her own plan of how to take him down, he is constructing his plan of how to take her down. And so it is the ultimate Western showdown, and they both know that they are very worthy adversaries.
You better have thought this all the way through.
The situation with Emilion, who's been the puppet master all along, it goes back to the same theme of like the men are the ones that are passionate and romantic, and Jett is the one that's practical and logical the entire time.
He threatened to kill Alice.
Charlie refuses to be told by Emilion what to do.
Your son, Junior, did this to you, but you were too blind to see it.
This is a show that bad things happen, people die. But in that very last moment, it's important to me that he goes out with this sort of honorable fashion.
2 wild cards.
The fact that Charlie dies because of her, she could have never foreseen that it could have gotten to this place.
Alice, run! Run!
He took her. It's not until Emilion says that he has Alice that it changes for her.
Did you honestly think that I would walk into a situation with you without taking out insurance?
The thing that really struck me when I read it is that I thought there was no way she would kill him because of Alice.
Oh, God!
Where is my daughter? At every turn, Jett just does not what a typical, not even typical, not what almost any mother would do.
She would rather take a chance finding out the daughter on her own than still being beholden to this guy.
Victor Solnick will never forgive this. He will hunt you down and kill you.
I'll take my chances. The very end of the episode is the first moment that she's hit by feelings that she never knew she was capable of having. She didn't want to feel this way, but that she might have been part of her daughter for sure being in danger and maybe not being alive.
Jack Dylan has completely gone off the edge after the murder of his partner and lover, and at the moment that he's at his lowest and is going to kill himself, Jett reveals that he is Alice's father.
I'm sorry I didn't tell you before.
And I don't necessarily need it to be like a big reveal and more of an inevitable one. It's like there's a reason why she goes to him. There's a reason why these two have had a connection.
I don't know if she's alive.
I'll help you find her.
If the first season was about setting up all these characters and all these pieces on the board, and going forward, these characters will figure out how to get back up again, but it is scary what's happening to them, and hopefully people will feel that and feel for them and wonder how they're going to get out of this situation.